Can you believe that a frog, yes, a literal frog, ends up being the guy who saves the day in this movie? And not just any frog, but a prince who somehow gets cursed to hop around in lily pads all day. Like, who curses someone to be a frog? Who has the time for that level of cruelty? Alright, let's break this down. So, we start with Tiana, a hardworking girl who's got big dreams. She wants to open her own restaurant, but no one's listening to her, and the bank won't give her a loan because apparently, building your own restaurant as a waitress is the fastest way to go broke in a Disney movie. But hey, she's determined, right? You know, working 24/7, building her dream brick by brick, all while dealing with some nonsense from her best friend, Charlotte, who's over here being the definition of a spoiled princess energy. Then, enter Prince Naveen, who's basically just out here living his best life, doing absolutely nothing. How does this guy get cursed and turned into a frog? Dude, got nothing going for him, and he gets turned into a frog by some evil witch doctor, again, who curses someone to be a frog. And not just a frog, but a frog with a French accent. What's next? A British cockroach. Here's where it gets wild. Naveen, this frog prince, decides that Tiana, this hardworking, dream-chasing woman, is the one who will save him from his froggy fate. How does he convince her? He's all like, hey, if you kiss me, I'll turn back into a prince and totally grant you whatever wish you want. And, I've got to ask, who in their right mind would kiss a frog who talks like he's from a bad romantic comedy? But Tiana's not having it. She's all, no way, you're a frog. You're disgusting. And honestly, same. But then, of course, she's like, what's the worst that could happen? So, she kisses the frog, because she's gotta be desperate for a prince, right? Boom. What happens next? They both turn into frogs. Wait a second. You've gotta be kidding me. The kiss of death wasn't even the right kiss. Now, Tiana's a frog, too, and I'm just sitting here wondering, is this supposed to be the moment when Tiana's like, oh, I guess I should have just been happy with my hardworking life and not made decisions based on magical promises? Now they're both frogs hopping around the swamp, trying to figure out how to fix their mistake. Meanwhile, Prince Naveen is just living his best frog life, trying to impress Tiana. And I gotta say, he's somehow getting better at being a frog than being a prince. He's hopping around with style, while Tiana's just trying to stay sane. It's like she's realized, great, I've been cursed, and now I have to put up with this incompetent frog who couldn't even stay a prince for one day. But, of course, things get even crazier. Tiana and Naveen get way deeper into this whole frog thing, meeting all kinds of swamp creatures. You've got fireflies, crazy alligators, and a witch doctor who just won't stop laughing. At this point, I'm like, who's making these decisions, and how are they this bad? But then comes the real plot twist. Tiana, the hardworking dreamer, learns that maybe the thing she wanted wasn't a fairy tale ending at all. Maybe it was about realizing she had to fight for her dreams in a way that wasn't tied to some guy being her prince. She doesn't need a prince, she just needs herself and a solid plan. Now, I won't spoil the entire thing, but trust me, this movie wraps up in the most unpredictable way. Tiana gets her restaurant, she learns a little about love, and somehow, they're both back to being humans, and the magic is all forgiven. All of this because of a kiss? Honestly, I still can't wrap my head around how this movie went from frog kissing 101 to actual true love. But here's the thing, how is it that the guy who had nothing going for him, Prince Naveen, just magically becomes a better person once he's a frog? Did this curse somehow make him a better man? Or is it just that he's more likable when he's hopping around? And how is it that Tiana was able to get everything she wanted without relying on a prince to grant wishes? Seems like the real message is, you don't need a frog prince, you just need a good work ethic and maybe a touch of magic, if you're into that. So, yeah, The Princess and the Frog, a classic story about getting cursed, making bad decisions, and realizing that the real magic comes from hard work, believing in yourself, and, occasionally, a frog kiss, if that's your thing.